Hey now, hey now, Gobbler edition, Thanksgiving special. Hey, welcome to it, man. Welcome back to the Hurt Locker. It's been a little while. I've been kind of MIA. Sorry, guys. Life is getting busy, as you can see. The beard's growing, so a little caveman look. I've been away from the computer and tech side for a while. And I'm welcoming my neighbor, Liam Neighbors, in on the show today. Gig'em, here we go. Got to
Yes, sir. Gig
represent.
'em.
Got to represent today. Big show, cool show today. Thanksgiving special, Gobbler edition. Thanksgiving week. Happy Thanksgiving, y'all. Hope you guys have a good one. Tomorrow, eat lots of turkey, gravy, mashed potatoes, stuffing, all them good stuff. Cranberry sauce. Get it all, man. Um, Football this weekend, I think, is going to be one of the better rivalry weekends we've seen in a really long time as far as just guys being competitive. Teams that are actually in it. Usually it's like, oh, maybe one team's really stacked, the other team's not as good. I think this year is completely different. A lot of the rivals are pretty close in terms of being competitive. I think so. We're in for a good week. I think we're gonna have some G5 games of the week. We're gonna have some P4 games of the week. Kind of break those down just a little bit, touch on them, the biggest ones, the ones that have the most implication on anything. That's what we're going to be putting in there today. Make sure I'm going to put this on the bottom. Again, follow at LowHurt24 on X. You can catch this live on YouTube or on X if you'd like. Total Coverage Sports is the new tag, so look that up on YouTube. Appreciate the follow and subscribe on YouTube. That really helps us out, so please do that. Really appreciate that, and I'll make sure I put that on the bottom as well. We're going to jump right to it. We're going to jump right into it. Again, this is guest Liam Neighbors, one of my one of the best friends here. Big Aggies guy, big Aggie followers. So that's kind of what we're representing today. We're going to leave that for the very end so we can kind of go on a little rant about that. And the Ags having a great one, having a great year. My Beavs, not so much. That's why I'm kind of hiding that in the hoodie because I don't really want to show it. I mean, I'm still going to, but I don't really want to. Yeah, we got some good ones today. So let's start it off. Let's go G5 games of the week. G5 games of the week. I think first one we had up was Navy at Memphis. This one for the American Conference, kind of a big one. We saw Navy last week put up a pretty outstanding game in what we thought was maybe not going to be that result. They looked really well. Obviously, Horvath's going off, doing his thing, and I'm looking forward to the Army-Navy game. That's one of my favorite games in the year, but that's always going to be close. That's always tight. But to think that Navy, with all that they're playing for, Memphis is still playing for something, but they need a lot of chips to fall and go. It's not going to be such an easy route for them to get to a title game. Navy, on the other hand, they're playing for it. This is something that they have. Who do they got in front of them? They got Tulane in front of them, and
Tulane in North Texas.
So.
Yep.
Two teams with their games this weekend are looking more like easy wins, I would say, for them. So obviously it's going to be a little tougher for Navy. But again, Memphis and Navy being at Memphis has a pretty good quarterback, Brendan Lewis. They're more of a high volume air raid type team. They want to throw the football. Navy, with the triple option and what they run, obviously super hard to defend. It's what throws a lot of teams off guard. It's pretty tough to prepare for. Just a lot of moving parts, having to stay in your lane and respect everything that they do. Staying home is obviously a big thing when you have to guard a team like that and try to stop a team like that, because we know predominantly they're going to run the football and try to run it down your throat and just play ground control, time of possession, and that's what Navy's trying to do to this team. And I think so. The 3.5, you're going to give me the hook on the 3.5. I don't know about you, but I do like Navy plus the 3.5 in this. Just because I think it is going to be a close game. It's probably going to come down to a field goal type game. And give me Navy with the time of possession, man. I mean, Horvath, again, I think he's thrown for more yards than like any Navy quarterback maybe ever. And then you add the rushing aspect to it. So yeah, I do like Navy. I don't know about you, but that's what I'm going with, Navy plus 3.5.
Yeah, at least in our lifetime, the most passing yards for a Navy quarterback for sure. I agree with you. I like Navy here. I know slight underdog. But they've got a lot more to play for than Memphis right now. Like you said, I think they need a win and a little bit of help with either North Texas or Tulane losing. But I like Navy in this situation. And can I just say too, this is the best weekend of the year, without a doubt. Opening weekend is great for college football. Like week one's awesome. Playoffs are great. I love bowl season as a whole. but there's nothing better than a couple days off, rivalry week. You build up to it all season, and with the expanded playoffs now, there's so much more to play for beyond just bragging rights. Like A&M, Texas, Michigan, Ohio State, those just mean that much more with teams trying to fight to get in. So enjoy it all. This is going to be an awesome, awesome week.
Yeah, bring it all in. Enjoy one game at a time. Obviously, there's going to be multiple going at a time, but try to enjoy one at a time. If you have multiple TVs, turn them all on. I got one, two. We got a third one out here sometimes. Yeah, I got them all rolling for Saturdays like this and weekends like this. Obviously, some of the games are going to be good on Friday. The Navy game, we got Navy Memphis. That is tomorrow, I believe. So on Thanksgiving, pretty big one. So if you're not into the NFL stuff, turn on Navy Memphis and give that an old G5 look. Dirty Dan says, "Who wins the Civil War this weekend?" Well, I was gonna wait to
Dan,
get
I hate
into
to break it to you.
I was gonna wait to get into this game, which I will wait a little bit. We'll touch on that, Dirty Dan. We'll touch on that. Eli Butler says, "Go Ducks." Liam, Logan, you have some shit on your shirt. Yeah, that's why I have a hoodie covering it up because they're not great this year. They are SHITTY, to say the least. So, we're gonna go to the next one. I love reading the chats, man. The chats are always good. So we got next one, San Diego State at New Mexico. We are kind of touching on this earlier. This is pretty much just a straight pick'em game. I like the fact it's at New Mexico. They've been pretty good at home. They've had some pretty big wins this year. At UCLA was a pretty big one with a team that somehow beat a Penn State team. Obviously, Penn State not living up to the hype that we all kind of thought they were going to the beginning of the year, which makes Oregon's win at Penn State not look as good. Touch on a little bit on that. I think that this, you were saying earlier, this is like a huge coaching game. This is like a really cool coaching matchup. These are two coaches that should be moving on to higher teams, bigger name teams, bigger schools, right? Coming up. And I think they're being, with the way they're doing and being successful at the schools that they're at, that's going to be in no time. I think these guys will move up pretty quickly. In terms of just the game itself, New Mexico has a lot to play for. You got Boise State in the conference. They're looking to win, but they do not have it. It's not an easy test. They got to go at Utah State, so pretty tough there. And then you obviously got San Diego State playing New Mexico. Winner's going to get in. So I don't know, man. I'm a huge underdog guy this week, and especially because it's a rivalry week. Looking at the numbers, with how close games usually are with rivalry games, I think some of the spreads are in a bettor's favor, which if I was a betting man, which I am, I do like New Mexico plus the 1.5 as a pick'em or a money line. Give me the Lobos this weekend.
Well, if you look at it across the board, and we'll get into it more, there are so many home dogs in rivalry week. This is just another one right here. Like you said, pick'em game. Both coaches, Sean Lewis and Coach Eck, both coming from smaller school. Well, I guess Sean Lewis was at Colorado before this as the OC, and then Coach Eck from Idaho. I think we'll see both of them up at the Power 4 level pretty soon. Obviously, San Diego State making the move to the Pac-12 too, so it'll be a little bit higher version of ball there. But don't be surprised if either one of these guys, even though they've only been there a year or two, starts moving up to some bigger schools here, as this coaching carousel is just insane. Pick'em game. I'll take New Mexico just because it's at home. Home dog should be fun, but I'll be locked in regardless for this one.
Perfect. Next one, let's move on. And we got, and I'm going to keep track of these, by the way. I'm going to see just some info. Me and Liam for years have done dollar bets on NFL spreads. So whatever the spread is coming out, we pick game for game. It's $1 per game. You have one special worth $5. We've done this for quite a few years. It makes it a lot of fun. Sometimes we've definitely lost our ass. Usually being me, which is horrible comeback covers. This year again was really bad. We stopped doing it a couple weeks ago, and I owed a pretty fat bill at the end of one of these weeks, which $16, right? Doesn't seem like a lot, which it's really not that much.
Adds up in a hurry.
It does add up when you have like 3 really really bad weeks. But we're going Toledo at Central Michigan. This is another game that has some implication for G5. For these two teams especially. This, again, the spread in the favor of a bettor. You're a Central Michigan guy. You've told me all year, don't, never count out the chips, look for the chips, fire up the chips,
baby. Let's go.
And I think I'm starting to believe. So, true fact, I had a 6-leg parlay last week. I had Kent State to cover 10.5 against Central Michigan, and they lost by 12. Um, and Central Michigan had the W, and Liam's like, I
I
told you,
told
you
you.
should have. So now with Toledo, 10.5 in this conference, there's just no way. Who's looking at me out there? Yeah, some guy, some weirdos out there looking at me. So there's no way I'm not taking Central Michigan plus 10.5 this week. I think this is a great opportunity. You're giving me 10.5 points. I'm going to take that all day long, especially Central Michigan at home. Again, they're more of a ground and pound type team. They're not a huge air raid team. They want to beat you up. They're pretty good defensively, so I think they keep this thing tight. But they are capable of a lot of play action because of the run game. And I think hopefully that opens up some big plays for them. Central Michigan plus 10.5. Give me the chips.
So yeah, with regards to Central Michigan, there's some viral clips going around on Twitter with using 2, 3, and possibly 4 fullbacks. So something to keep an eye on. I love it. I will never bet against my guy, Coach Drinkall. That being said, Toledo will win this game. They're too talented. Central Michigan will keep it close though. And just what a job he's done in 1 year at Central Michigan too. I think
Right.
they're 8-3 or 7-3 right now. 5-2 in conference. So done a great job, great turnaround. They'll be competitive in the MAC for a long time as long as he's still coaching there.
So they have Ohio's the other team to watch in this for this weekend. Western Michigan looks like they're automatically going to get into the title game for the MAC.
Mm-hmm.
They did beat Central Michigan in a tight game. I think it was 24-21 a couple weeks ago. So Western Michigan's definitely going to get in. Western Michigan also beat Toledo, I think, in the third week or fourth week of the year, 14-13, super tight game. So you're looking at the two tight windows there with low scoring games. I'll have to check the over-under on this one as well. That might be one to watch too if you're a better looking at the over-under on this. But considering those are both tight games, now you're later on the year, both teams are pretty polished. And again, they're playing for something here. The team that's in front of them is Ohio. Ohio has not played either of these two teams. But the thing about Ohio is they do play Buffalo. Buffalo's not a great team, but they're not terrible. Like this is kind of a sneak. It's one of those sneaky MAC games, right? 7-4 Ohio at a 5-6 Buffalo. Spread's only a touchdown. It's one of those things where you just never really know.
You never know.
And it's the MAC. You just don't know in general. So be on the watch out for that because basically the winner of these two teams, either Toledo or Central Michigan, whoever wins this game, they're rooting for Ohio to lose. If Ohio loses, that winner is going to get in against Western Michigan for the conference title. So good one there. Next one we got coming up is Western Kentucky at Jack State. Western Kentucky is a favorite -2.5. Another gunslinger type team. Liam, another Hilltopper type guy. He always roots for the Hilltoppers. I do. Again, man, I'm an underdog kind of guy this week. I don't know what it is. I kind of like Jackson State to cover 2.5. They are at home. Again, playing for something here. There is implication for this conference. I'm going to take Jack State with the +2.5. What you got?
I will not bet against Western Kentucky. Just historically, going off of my NCAA record of starting as an offensive coordinator there. I got deep roots to the Hilltoppers, and I'm not going to let that go now. Are we going to cover Kennesaw State at all today? I just want to touch on that. If not, because I think if they win, they play Liberty. If they beat Liberty, I believe they're also in the CUSA championship.
Yes. So you have Kennesaw State, who's 6-1 in conference. Jackson State is 6-1 in conference. Western Kentucky is all 6-1. So all three of those teams are 6-1. Obviously, Western Kentucky, Jackson State playing for the number one spot, basically, is what you're looking at. And then Kennesaw State looking to play in the title game as well. Obviously, if Kennesaw State loses, then you're probably going to be seeing Jackson State and Western Kentucky playing each other again in the conference title game like 2 weeks in a row. Pretty nuts.
Okay.
So
that sounds right.
But looking at Kennesaw State, again, what a job they've done this year at that program. They've really turned that thing around. I mean, you went from being like the worst team in college football for 4 out of the last
Forever.
5 years,
Yeah.
or more. And then now you're turning it around to a point where you're 6-1 in conference, 8-3 total on the year. I mean, what a turnaround. And shout out Kennesaw State. My cousin Connor went to Kennesaw State. So shout out to him out there in Georgia land on the south. So yeah, man, I think again it's going to be a good game, tight spread here. I do like Jackson State though at home, considering they are the number one team in the conference. so far. And the other reason why I take them is the points against. They're leading the conference in points against. So small amount of points against. As far as one of the top teams, what's crazy is the team that actually has the least amount of points against is Louisiana Tech, who has no chance of playing in the conference title game. So, and almost by a 20-point margin too. So a pretty big margin. Next G5 game, you got Troy at Southern Miss. Another one, big implication again. That's why we're bringing these guys up. Troy, to me, I just love the name Troy. It reminds me of the movie Troy, right, with the Trojans. If you haven't seen that movie with Brad Pitt, highly recommend. One of my favorites of all time. I got to go with Troy. I got to go Troy with plus 6.5 on the road at Southern Miss. I bet on them earlier this year. It was a really bad turnout. Starting quarterback got hurt, but I'm thinking they've turned things around. He's back healthy. I'm taking Troy plus 6.5 on the road at Southern Miss.
I mean, this is also a play-in game for the Sun Belt. Winner plays, you said JMU. I mean, if we're just going just based off,
good luck on playing JMU. Whatever team gets in, good luck.
They should probably maybe make the playoff, but that's a conversation for another time. If we're just going to strictly based off of mascots and how cool they are, I'm going to take the Golden Eagles. I haven't watched much team either way, but I'll take Southern Miss at home as a favorite here.
I mean, Golden Eagles, yeah. I mean, that's pretty sick. I'm going literally just based off of the couple of games I've watched with Troy. I haven't watched too much of Southern Miss, but yeah, I do like the aspect of the whole Golden Eagle. That's pretty sick. And actually, it's only a touchdown, so you're gonna give me the hook of 6.5. It's worth it. It's worth it.
I'm not giving Southern Miss enough credit. I was at the Southern Miss Georgia Southern game about a month and a half ago, so and they got off to like a 34-10 lead, and then I ended up leaving at halftime. But yeah, and then Georgia Southern came back and almost won. But I did see Southern Miss play. They're a good team. I think regardless of the outcome here, JMU will steamroll whoever wins.
So JMU points for, they're 281 points for, and they're only 111 points against on the season. So again, good luck to whoever wants to play these guys. I think the team in second, I want to say it's, let me fact check that. I think it's Old Dominion with like 155. So you got like a 40-point swing between the two for point differential. I mean, JMU's, they're definitely a powerhouse. They're the steamroller of that conference this year. I don't know if everybody saw that coming, considering they're still new to being an FBS program. But I mean, they're a powerhouse in that conference, man. I mean, they've definitely made a staple this year.
You know who their last coach was before Chesney there, right? It was Kirk Cignetti. So you think after you lose a great coach like him, they'd have to rebuild, but they're turning into something like North Dakota State, where they'll have a coach leave and the next guy comes in. I think he's going to get some offers too. Penn State's been in the mix, possibly others, especially after this carousel keeps going. But yeah, JMU's done a great job. It's a shame they're not more in the playoff conversation, because I don't think, regardless of the outcome against Coastal and then the Sun Belt Championship, I don't think they're going to make the playoff. But after this week, we can do their show and talk about that and see, depending on some results, there is a chance that they could make it in over the ACC champ, which is just insane to think about. But let's not worry about that until we actually have to talk about it, or it's even a realistic possibility.
So, I mean, and you didn't really want to touch on the whole James Madison thing. Maybe, they should belong in the conversation of a playoff in like a G5 spot. But I mean, we got time. Let's talk about it. I mean, to me, you see a program like that. You've seen Tulane still ranked, North Texas, those two teams that are leading that conference. Tulane's already played a couple bigger name teams this year. They played an okay Memphis team, but obviously I don't think they're worthy of being in that topic conversation. And you just see the size differential. You see the speed, the talent that really separates those two levels in conferences when they played a team like Ole Miss. And the spread was only, I think, 11. So people are like, okay, I think they should be competitive. No, it wasn't competitive. Ole Miss really took it to them and really showed that differential of level. Like, what is that quote? There's level
Ole
to
Miss
this,
there's levels. Yeah.
Yeah. And they really did show, hey, we're a real playoff team. We're a real team in the SEC. And this team doesn't belong on this platform. Good for what they are, but maybe not good enough to be there. And I think James Madison's probably still in that realm of things, right? It's really
I
about
don't know though, because James Madison has like the 101st strength of schedule in the country. They haven't played anybody, and when
no.
I think they lost, their one losses to Louisville. I think, and Louisville's been, they'll have a good win, they'll be up and down, and then they got taken to, down to the last couple of minutes in the fourth quarter against Wazoo, who is held their own against Ole Miss, against JMU, against Virginia, three possible conference champions or close to conference champions. But that's its own thing too. So I don't know. Tulane's an incredibly respectable program, just like all these top G5 schools are. Right? They beat Northwestern soundly at the beginning of the year, which means hey, they can hang in the Big Ten, lower middle of the pack. No shame in that. That is fantastic for them. It comes down to, do we want the playoff to be the most deserving teams and all the conference champions, or do we want teams that we think can actually compete? I
Yeah.
think the last predicted spread projected right now is Tulane, Texas Tech, and the spread's 21, 20 and a half, something like that. And that's just, it's not competitive. I'm not saying they can't win. We've seen that happen. We saw it happen last year. Michigan, Ohio State was a 20-point spread, and look who came out on top. It could
Yeah.
happen, but there's no shot they're going to make a run. Any team like that's, bless you, no shot they're going to make a run. If they win one game, phenomenal, great season for them. It just, I don't know. It's almost like a guaranteed lock for at least either the first round, or if they somehow win that, the second round for a top 4 seed.
Yeah. I think more or less it's, and I've had this conversation before, especially with you, of having two different types of tournaments for this would be the most ideal thing that they could do. There's now teams because of NIL. NIL has ruined college football, and I don't care what anybody says. You can say it's benefited, whatever. I think it's completely ruined the aspect of loyalty, what people actually believe in, making a staple of where you're going to go. And I think as far as a kid, right, coming out of high school, now it's like, hey, where can I go get the biggest bankroll at? It doesn't even matter where it's at. I'm going to go down to Kentucky because they're going to offer me $2 million. Do I really want to be in Kentucky? No, probably not. But that's what they're going to offer me. And so I'm going to go there. When you could go somewhere else and go actually build yourself and actually develop. And I think all of that is being lost. All of it's being lost. And so because of that reason, the teams like James Madison and Tulane, and then now the next team we're going to talk about, which I'll just pop that up on the screen here, Oregon State, you brought up Wazoo. Those two teams go from being a Pac-12, Pac-10, competitive football teams that are the sleeper team that can beat you on any given Saturday, to now a team that it's like, they're losing people. They don't have a huge draw. They don't have really the NIL funds that everybody else has. And now they're being looked at as a G5 school. And that's why they're in this G5 pick conversation, because no one cares about Oregon State. No one cares about Wazoo. They're being kicked to the curb. And people are not going to feel sorry for us. I mean, yeah, we can feel sorry for ourselves because it sucks. It's not a great situation. But the problem is we don't have what everybody else has. We have good facilities. Now, if you want to put us in the Mountain West, or you want to put us in the G5 category with all these other schools, our facilities at Oregon State are top notch.
Better than most G5 or G6 schools, for sure.
Absolutely. And the stadium, right? I mean, I don't know how many stadiums in that level hold 40 plus thousand people and have the actual state of the art facilities that they have all around for all the sports. And so it does suck getting kicked to the curb. But if you're going to put us down to that type of level, then there needs to be two different tournaments. And I'm cool with the tournaments. I'm cool with having 12 teams. I'm with it. But you want to talk about deserving or who actually is good enough to be there. And we saw it last year with Boise State. They single-handedly only got in that because of Ashton Jeanty. If they didn't have Ashton Jeanty, that team isn't where they are. And
my Heisman winner.
And he still is the Heisman winner. Sorry, Travis Hunter, you're just not cutting it for me. But you watch that, it's a prime example of, yes, they have a really good player. He carried them because they didn't have the greatest schedule in the world. They played Mountain West all year. He tears it up. He's very impressive, and he's going to do great things in the NFL like he's already starting to do. But the team and collectively is just not – it's not there. At that level, it's just not there. They might be able to compete for a quarter or two, maybe into
or
the
a
third,
game.
maybe.
Or
but
they could win a game. But if you're
Could.
going to go in and I don't have the projected oh I do the projected playoff pulled up right now. But if you're that 12 team or that 12 seed and you're as a G6 winner and you're going to go in and play Texas Tech right now and it's the upset of the year and it can happen. We saw it, Boise State, Oklahoma years ago, and then Boise State, I think TCU a couple years after that. Right, Cincinnati made the 14 playoff, but like it can happen. Teams can win. But then you go on and have to play Georgia, and then you'd most likely have to play Ohio State.
Yeah.
That's just to make it to the national championship. Then you got to play either Indiana projected or A&M.
Yeah,
So
and none
there's
of those
the
teams are
cinder.
built. They're not built to last to play
No,
3-4 games against the biggest, baddest, fastest dudes on earth at the college level.
they can
they're
win.
not
They
built
can
for
win
it.
one game, maybe even two on a good day, which is phenomenal, right? You even making the playoff at a G5 school. But again, what is the goal here? Is your goal like, hey, let's win our conference, right? Our G5 conference, and then go to the playoff and just get smacked?
Yeah.
Or do we want to have our own, like you said, and maybe it's still another 12 team playoff and you
Yep.
take the top, it's automatic qualifiers, take the top two from every G5 conference and go from there, maybe two at larges, however you want to do it,
Yep.
maybe similar to FCS, um, and then
Which
have your own
and
playoff
that's
there.
exactly I think how it should be. How the
Mhm.
FCS has set it up is perfect for how the G5 should really lay it out.
Yeah, I would argue there's more FCS schools, I think, so more teams make sense. And for the people arguing about parity and like, oh, the FCS does it, why can't FBS do it? Look who's won the last 20 years. It's been North Dakota State, South Dakota State,
Yeah.
with a couple, I think Sam Houston 1 year, like a couple of the teams sprinkled in. It's more top heavy than FBS is, but I think it would be more fun. I think more teams would have a chance to win something meaningful and not just win your conference and get to the big boy playoff and lose.
Yeah. I mean,
We'll see. Will it change? We'll see. I don't know, but yeah.
you have five conferences. I guess six if you added the Pac-12. The new
It'll
the
be
new
six when
Pac-12.
the Pac-12 becomes a real thing
So
next year.
you have six conferences of that caliber. And there's your 12 right there. You take
Yep,
the
your
two
top two.
top two teams from each, and you roll it out. And I honestly think in terms of even ratings, I don't think the ratings would be that bad. I think a lot of people would tune in because
Mhm.
they have something to actually play for. You know, if Oregon State's going to be a Mountain West Pac-12 type of team with the facilities we have, and hopefully we can recruit to that level. What
Mhm.
I'm seeing this year, we can't. It's terrible.
No, but that's a different circumstance because you don't have a conference. There's nothing.
No,
There's nothing to recruit for, right? You've got a new stadium, but outside of that, there's not much. And you spent your money poorly all on one quarterback instead of throughout a team. So
yeah,
I think you get a new GM, possibly a new AD, fingers crossed, and a new head coach with a vision of a conference. Yeah, please. With a vision of a conference, like, hey, there's something to aspire to at the Pac-12 title every single year, right? Not just we're playing a crapshoot schedule in Washington State twice.
yeah,
Recruiting will get better. You're never going to out recruit Oregon in the state, but you're still going to get back to hopefully, making some inroads in Portland and Seattle and the guys that aren't getting those Duck and Husky and USC commits, right? And they're
it's
going to
it's
stay
gonna
home and
be
stay
it's gonna be
close to Oregon
tough for
State.
me to just be like, this is what we are. We're
It's a
G5.
recalibration of
It's
expectation, yeah,
it's
but you
it's
can still
very
win it.
different. I
I
mean,
hate to say it, but like
we can have
there's
the
a yeah,
Boise State expectation of, hey,
yes,
let's win
yes,
our Pac-12, and hey, let's get that 12 seed G5 in, and let's go play one of the big boys and roll the dice, and it's going to be our Super Bowl. If we got to play Texas Tech in the first round as a 12 seed, that's our Super Bowl. Cool. Put all your chips in it. If you beat them, you just won the damn national
yeah,
championship in our eyes,
yeah.
but you're probably never going to make the run to get all the way there. And again,
I think the
they
Super
need to
Bowl is
decide on what they
making it
want to
there,
do.
not even winning. The
Yeah.
Super Bowl, your Super Bowl is let's make the conference championship, which again, no knock on Oregon State, but something you didn't do in the Pac-12. You got close a couple times, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I love the Bees, and I hope they win a ton. Same with Washington State. But this is a very achievable goal. If you can continue to recruit at the level you had been, not this year, but the last couple of years, still using the portal to be at the top of the G5 or soon to be G6 and competing for Pac-12 championships every year, that should be the goal. It should be you, Washington State, and Boise State, and then everyone else falls in under that. It's
Yeah.
going to get competitive. Colorado State's putting a lot of money into their program. Jim Mora is going to be a great coach for them, I think. Hey, look what he's done at UConn the last couple of years. He's turned them in
Yep.
from a bottom feeder to I think a 9-3 year this year. So it's and then if Sean Lewis stays at San Diego State, they're going to be competitive and good. The Pac-12 is going to be very entertaining. We just have to recalibrate how we've normally seen it, which is a shame. But
and to go off on Oregon State, because I haven't ranted on them in quite a while. If anyone, which probably no one has really, really paid attention, I have sadly wasted my life every Saturday this year watching this horrendous, embarrassing team, probably the worst team I have ever seen in my lifetime. There's been some bad ones. We've had some 1-win years. And you would say, well, they already have 2 wins, so obviously it's better than them.
This is worse.
But it's like, no, it's worse in the sense of how we're doing it and what you're doing and who you're losing to. Guys, 2 weeks ago, we played maybe the worst team in college football, Sam Houston, who just moved up to the FBS level. They were 0-8. 0-8. They come into Corvallis. We're a 21-point favorite. I'm like, yeah, we're going to get our 3rd win, right? Like, this is cool. We just beat Wazoo the week before, held them to 7 points, a team that should have beat Ole Miss, should have beat Virginia.
And JMU.
And
last week, or 2 weeks ago, yeah.
But before that, yes. So a team to me, that Wazoo game, I didn't even go. This is horrible, guys. I know. Season ticket holder, you should be at the games.
Season tickets.
Now, I'm like, I've wasted my money. This team's so terribly bad. I can't do this. I'm not going. We're going to lose by 40. I should have known better when the spread was only 3.5 that week that it was going to be the same old thing that it is every year, Oregon State with Wazoo. The battle of the Pac-2, the 2 teams that are a lot alike and don't really hate each other. It's a weird dynamic, guys. If you ever experience an Oregon State and a Wazoo fan, they are morally the same. They're the stepchild to the other school. They're rivals. And how they just interact with each other, it's the weirdest thing. You would think, oh, it should be a rivalry week. It should be hatred. And you go to the game and it's like, hey, man, hope you do okay today. Like, I don't really care if you beat us or not. Like, we're not going to be mad. Let's just drink together. No one cares, right? So it's just this weird dynamic. And again, you hold a team to 7 points that should have beat these big name schools that are competing right now in the college football playoff. And you hold them down and you beat them 10-7. And again, 10 points, not great. The offense has been the most abysmal thing I've witnessed all year long. There's no identity. We don't even know who our coach is. We don't know what we're going to get. We don't know if we're going to get some guy from Montana State, which I don't think is a horrible hire. I think Vigil will be okay. He's been successful. My only problem is I don't think he's going to know how to use NIL. I don't think he's going to understand that aspect of things. He doesn't really have to deal with that at Montana State. They are what they are. They've been decent at that level for so long that they get the same type of kids feeding in, year in and year out. Oregon State now, this is a team that has expectations. This is a school that traditionally, yes, has had some horrible years, but they've had some really good years. Just 3 years ago, we were 3 points away from beating Washington. 2 points, sorry.
2 years ago.
2 years ago. Okay.
2 years, 2023.
And you went to the game with me.
I flew up from Texas. Yep.
And that's a game that's going to haunt me forever, to where we had so many opportunities in the pissing rain against a team who played in the national championship, and we should have beat that team. And instead, we're out. We don't get to go to a Pac-12 championship. We were that close. And so you go from that to this of losing to Sam Houston at home and scoring 17 points on Sam Houston. It was 17-7 at halftime. Sam Houston.
I went to bed at half.
Didn't score an offensive point. They didn't even score on offense. Guys, this team literally scored on a blocked field goal for a touchdown, a kickoff return for a touchdown to open off the second half, and then a pick six. We lost to a team that literally couldn't move the football. Like, you have stooped down to the lowest point ever. It's the worst loss in Oregon State history. I don't want to hear Sac State. I don't want to hear Eastern Washington. Yes, we lost Eastern Washington. Ever heard of a guy named Cooper Kupp? Yeah, he literally obliterated us, like single-handedly. And then it's like, oh, yeah, this guy's from Yakima, Washington. Where? Who? Yeah, and then he goes on and now he's a Super Bowl champ, Super Bowl MVP. Yeah, ever heard of that guy? Yeah, we lost to that guy too. We've had bad losses, guys. This is the worst of the absolute worst. We've reached the lowest point in my entire life. I got tears. I might cry. Then I'm thinking, okay, it can't get any worse. No, it can. It can. We're gonna play Tulsa, the sickos game of the week. 2-8 versus 2-8. It couldn't get any worse, could it? Yeah, it could.
Oh, it can.
Yeah, it can. You can be down 31-7 to Tulsa. Just pause. Just give you a break there. Then silence. 31-7. Here's the upside. The only thing that was positive out of this last week. We have a true freshman quarterback. He's probably going to be gone. He's going to hate his life. He thinks we suck because we do. Tristan Tia, who I think has a lot of upside. He comes in the game, okay? Malik Murphy was 5 of 11. Looked horrendous. Jabari Johnson, who literally looks like he's throwing left-handed, but he's freaking right-handed, okay? He, 6 of 14. Awesome. 44 yards passing. Really good guys against literally Tulsa. Awesome. You guys are really good. We paid $1.9 million for Malik Murphy, by the way. Anybody didn't know the number? Just threw it out there. $1.9 million we just wasted on that guy for a 2-win season, and we're going to get obliterated by Wazoo this weekend as well. They're on revenge tour game. Watch out for that on Saturday. Put all your money, -13.5, Wazoo. I'm taking Wazoo. And I did this the same week that we beat them. I took Wazoo for the -3.5. I should have freaking known better. And then Oregon State beat them. So if you want to win money, do the opposite of me when it comes to games like this. Tristan Tia comes in that game against Tulsa, goes 8 of 11, drives us straight down the field, goes 141 yards passing, no picks, 8 of 11, 2 tuds. Gets us the only 14 points. So, yeah, we lost 31-14. Like, who really cares? But it was a little bit of an upside, and Tulsa actually had their starters still in because they're 2-8, and they're really trying to put the pedal to the metal on us and embarrass us. So that's our only hope. That's our only saving grace is maybe he sticks around. Maybe he starts this week. We haven't heard anything. I know you were saying something like, what are we hiding the horse in the barn for? I mean, does it really matter, Coach? Let's just.
Well, he's not going to burn his red shirt, right? Because he's only played 2 games.
He hasn't even
or has he played more than that?
No, he just played last week, and that's it.
That's it. Okay, so he's fine. I don't know what they're doing. And Wazoo's got a lot to play for too. They win this game, they're in a bowl game, so it's big for them. It's senior day. It's at home at the Palouse. So I'll take Wazoo to win and cover. Yeah, it's just welcome to the Hurt Locker. Come for the football takes. Stay for the Beaver rants.
Oh, awesome. Eli said lots of shots at halftime watching a Beavers game. Yep, you're right.
That's usually what we do. Is he talking about the UW game or every game?
He's talking about being a Oregon State fan and consuming a alcoholic beverage.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, that's what he's talking about. Lots of shots. Been there, done that. I can't tell you. I can tell you actually. For the first time all year, I don't think I'm going to tune in to this game at all. There's way better football on all day long for me to even want to worry about watching this terrible Oregon State team play Wazoo.
What time is that? 6:30?
Excuse me. Yeah, I can find something better to do.
Dude, that's the Iron Bowl. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. And Auburn's not even good, and it's the
laptop.
Iron Bowl. So, well, 6:30 your time. It's only 3:30 my time.
Oh, okay. Oh, so 7:30 for me, 4:30 for you. There you go. Oh my God. Guess the channel that it's on.
CW?
Wrong. It's on CBS.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
How can before we continue on these
No
games?
way. There's no way it's on CBS.
It is. It's on CBS. There it is. How did CBS go from showing Alabama LSU or the CBS game of the week or SEC CBS game of the week to Oregon State Wazoo? Like, I don't know how they lose that SEC contract. That is unbelievable.
Well,
they really. I'm so sorry, but they really thought that we're going to give up our CBS SEC contract to some random Oregon State Wazoo game instead of having the Iron Bowl at night, or Bama LSU, or Georgia Auburn,
or Cougs minus 13.5. Again, just get it over with.
I'll take it. I'll take
Pull
the
freaking
well.
Band-Aid off. Pull it off.
The most exciting thing to come from this game will not be the game itself, but the imminent head coach announcement that comes either right before or right after.
I don't know.
And then the rebuild starts.
Do, man.
I'll tell you what, mark this now. You're going to be hyped come next August. And week 1's right around the corner, and you're like, hey, we got a new coach, new team. It's going to be fun. You might not have as much a belief that we're going 9-3, 10-2, but you're going to be excited. I promise you that.
So, I mean, what's that thing? BAS.
Battered beef syndrome.
BBS. BAS, for anybody that doesn't know, battered Aggie syndrome. They haven't been very battered this week besides last week.
And I think we've broken the curse.
They still got out of it. Yeah, BBS. I have battered beaver syndrome. I like that. God,
thoughts and prayers. The first time you win that Pac-12, though, it's all gone. And you always got baseball.
You always got baseball. Guys, baseball's right around the corner in February. And must I say, we're going to have 2 of the top pitchers in the nation. So Oma Beavs are coming back. We're coming back.
Dirty Dan says, I want the Beavs. I think that's Andre Iguodala style via Max Kellerman.
Oh, man. All right, we got to continue. We got to continue.
Good rant, boys.
On the P4 games, guys. Biggest games of the week for P4. Number 12, Miami. At number 22, Pitt. Big one. And big one and not for Miami. You're probably thinking, what? They're number 12. That means they're in the playoff. No, you thought wrong. They actually pretty much have remotely no chance of making it in the playoff. As crazy as it is, Pitt is playing for everything this week. 6.5. Pitt is at home. They just embarrassed Georgia Tech, literally embarrassed Georgia Tech this last week. Excuse me. Getting off of sickness, guys. The throat's a little dry. Give me Pitt plus 6.5 against Miami. I love that. Miami's now winning this game. I need some water, man. Hang on. Pause.
I got you. I'll fill some dead space real quick.
Pause.
Hurry. Go. This is such a typical game that Miami loses. Late in the year, in the cold, with a good amount to play for, probably on the borderline of a playoff. We can argue that with, between them, Notre Dame, that whole fiasco. It's supposed to be 30 degrees and snowy, I think, in Pittsburgh. I think Pitt gets the dub. This is a classic game Miami loses. Logan, I don't know if your headset's on or if you can hear me or not. 1 second. Gotcha. Yeah. Oh. I'm taking Pitt to win, to cover, and end Miami season. It's just too – I got Pitt winning and covering.
That water hits like crack. Woo! Guys, I've had the nastiest cold for like the last 3 days. It's like the first day I felt better. I'm like, let's just do the show. Let's do the damn thing. And all this talking for the last 45 minutes is really getting to me.
Hey, if we got to cut it, we can cut it.
No, sir. We got to get through this. We got a good back end here. We got to get through this.
We do.
Okay. I did hear most of that, by the way. I love Pitt. Playing for all of it this week. Give me Pitt plus 6.5. Next one. I got to do this. Go Dogs. Sick 'em. That's what we're taking. Dogs big this week. I don't care where it's at. Atlanta's just down the road from Athens. Give me the freaking Dogs by 20. Dogs by 20.
Georgia Tech's dead. Pitt killed them last week. I love Haynes King. I love Brett Key.
Me too.
It's not going to be like last year, right? That 8 overtime craziness, which was awesome. One of the games of the year. It's just not going to happen.
But it's, again, I've seen Tech play this team when Tech was a 3-win football team and has competed with Georgia and kept it close.
So do you think 2 touchdowns is too much?
I mean, I love to think, like I just said, I love to think Dogs by 20.
Mm-hmm.
I think you just said it too. Tech's dead. They really are playing for nothing. They need a lot to happen for them to sneak into an ACC title.
Mm-hmm.
I think their run it's over. They've kind of realized that now. I don't even know how they're really in the top 25. Barely hanging on. I do like Georgia big. I'm just saying it's one of those games. It's rivalry week, guys. You just don't know. If Tech somehow sneaks in there and covers 13.5, I wouldn't be surprised. More or less, regardless of the story here, is I like Georgia to just dominate this game. They know what's coming. Haynes King's not necessarily a thrower. He has opportunity because of the run game that they, sneak up on people with some tight end leak outs and stuff like that. The screen game's really what they kill on. But with Georgia and how they've been lately, just a couple of weeks ago, Georgia looked like the best team in the country, and it wasn't even close. You watch A&M with the South Carolina game, very scary. But
we don't need to relive that.
Don't need to relive it, but they showed resilience of, hey, being down that bad, we didn't give up. We stayed in there. We stuck to the grind. We stuck to what we know how to do. We had a horrible first half. It's time to just refresh that, and they somehow got the win out of it. Georgia, from top to bottom the last couple of weeks, has just looked like the team, again, like they have years past, that we are the most physical team in college football. We're going to control the line of scrimmage. Georgia Tech being a heavy run team with Haynes King as like basically their primary runner, he might get killed on Saturday. Or did they play Friday?
It's the Friday. Mid-afternoon game, the 3:30 game.
Friday.
Okay, before we go to the next game, I know your voice is going and we got a few more to get to. Very, very weird dynamic right here because Bama beat Georgia, correct?
Yes.
And let's assume all the favorites went out, right? All the favorites went out. Bama plays A&M in the SEC championship game. Say Bama beats A&M, okay? Does A&M drop out of the top 4 for having their first loss in the SEC championship game and Georgia stays without playing in it? How would that work? How would you – and could you say the same for Ohio State and Indiana as well? Because Georgia's currently at 4. Bama's on the outside looking in at 10 because they have more losses. But it just – isn't that weird? Because would you put the SEC champ jump all those – would they jump all those teams? I don't know.
I mean, I think you get down to it, right? I always speak for a team that does win a title, like they win their conference title. Mm-hmm. I think no matter the history of it, if you win your conference title, you should be moved up ahead of teams that were not there. They're not in that for a reason. They didn't get hot at the right time. They lost games that they shouldn't have. If you win a title, I think you jump teams. I think that's more than fair. You got in that position. You put yourself in that position to do it. So, I mean, I don't know. Again, Indiana's not losing to Purdue this weekend. That's not going to happen. They're going to be in a Big Ten title game, and this we can talk a little about this conference. I don't even care if we go over an hour here. This is good content. If you play all year long, 12 games or whatever it is, 11. Why do we need to have a conference title game? I've thought about this many of time where we just played 12 games. I just played damn near all these teams in my conference, and I just beat them all. Why do I need to play somebody else to prove that I'm the best team in this conference? Like the Big Ten, right?
It's a prideful thing. Like
pride.
SEC championship means a ton. Big Ten championship means a ton. And for the smaller conferences, right, like G5, that could be a chance to get into the big dance. So I get what you're saying, and I think it hurts a lot more with not the expanded playoff, but expanded conferences.
Yeah.
That's where it hurts because it used to be everyone plays everyone. Right? The Big 12 prided themselves on it's a big round robin, the best two play, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
The SEC was you play almost everyone every year, so on and so forth. But now you've got such insane inequalities in schedule. Like A&M, like I hate to say it, we haven't played anyone in the top 6 or 7 in the SEC this year, right? And it's just so different. So I think that's where the SEC and those other championships come into play, right?
Yeah.
That's why you need to have them still.
All right, let's move on. Let's go Bama 10 at Auburn. Bama Iron Bowl here is a must win for the Tide to get into the playoff, to even have a shot of getting in. 6.5, I think, is an appropriate spread. It's the Iron Bowl. You never know. It's rivalry
You think it's an
week.
appropriate spread? Auburn's got their backup quarterback playing.
I'm saying it's an appropriate spread because of the tradition of the game, because it's
Okay.
right. So there's a respect level there from Vegas of we should probably keep this at a touchdown.
Yep.
But with that being said, I like Alabama to absolutely put the boots to the Tigers this weekend.
Really?
Yeah.
So Jordan Hare is not cursed, is what you're saying?
No.
Okay.
I think in years past, Auburn has had a much better football team in those seasons playing against Bama than they do now, to where they had maybe a fighter's chance. They looked like maybe a fighter's chance very early this year. I think they played Baylor like the first week or second week, and it was like, oh my God, Auburn's offense is so good.
Auburn played at Baylor. I think it was week 1 or week 0.
And then the season goes on. This is why I love it. This is what I love about college football. It is so drastic. It's just a freaking roller coaster all year. Just wee, high, low. God, we're terrible. Oh my God, we're good again. And they beat the crap out of Baylor, put up like 50 points. Everybody's like, oh my God, they're the real deal. Jackson Arnold's the real deal. Blah, 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 blah. They turn out to just be a very subpar football team.
Yeah.
And I like Bama. Bama's healthy. Bama's ready to rock. Yeah, I love the spread of 6. You're going to give me a touchdown. You're not even going to give me 7.5. You're going to give me 6.5. And this is all Vegas spreads that I put on here. There's no way I'm not taking Bama for a touchdown. No way.
Okay. I don't hate that pick. I'll say this. I think Bama wins. I don't think they cover. I will take Auburn in the points, but I think Bama gets a win. And I don't know how it's going to happen, whether it's some nasty backdoor at the end or it's just close all game. I think they keep it competitive, keep it close. What I'm upset about is that Auburn started last week against Mercer, really good FCS school, by the way. I think they're 9-1. They started Deuce Knight, true freshman quarterback. He ran, I think, for 6 touchdowns. And everyone got super hyped about him. And then they just announced that Ashton Daniels is going to be the starter again this week. So 1, will we see Deuce Knight at all against Bama? 2, how long will Daniels last?
Which I did forget about that. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
I did forget about Deuce Knight, but I mean, it is Mercer.
I get it. Totally get it. They haven't seen – Auburn hasn't had an explosive quarterback like that in a long time. And I would like to see him get at least some time in the Iron Bowl. I get he's only played a couple games.
Who's the guy they had recently?
They had – so Ashton Daniels is currently their guy. Who was it?
Years ago. Marshall?
Oh, Nick Marshall? I thought you were talking about this year. Yeah, Nick Marshall led them to the national championship back in 2013.
He's probably the last like electric type of dual threat guy they've had besides Bo Nix.
And Cam.
But Cam was
you just take after that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they had Bo Nix, but Bo didn't look good at Auburn.
Yeah.
Hence why he left.
Well, they were hoping Jackson Arnold would be the guy, but clearly that didn't work out. It also helped having Gus Malzahn as your calling plays for you back when Nick Marshall was there.
That's true.
We have some breaking moves. From
I just saw
Insider
that.
Dirty Dan 1237. Go ahead.
Vision extended by MSU. Looks like it'll be Shepard as head coach for Beef. So we're on the topic of Bama. He is what is he, the receiver coach? No, he's the OC.
I think he's the receiver coach and the co-offensive coordinator because Ryan Grubb's the OC. I think he's like the co-OC and receivers coach.
So again, I good revision. Honestly, I don't think it's a bad move on our end of just being like, you know what? Again, I don't think he's got much of a awareness for NIL. So having a guy come from Bama, he understands what it takes to bring kids in. He's got a different territory and region of where he's from, and he can spread the news and spread the word and get some of those kids and maybe some of those other kids that have this big dream of going to Bama or have this big. And Oregon State might just be a feeder school forever from this point on. And you know what? I'm
But if
cool
we
with
can get
that.
those athletes for a year,
And
great.
that's what I mean. We get those
Great.
guys for a year or two, and then they move on and go to Bama or something. Good for them and great for us because hopefully that means we're going to be decent. So
Yep.
maybe that wouldn't be a horrible move. I don't mean to go back on the other stuff we already kind of talked about, but thank you, Dirty Dan, for bringing it up. It's one of those things where I just feel like we need somebody, whether it's a really big name guy, Coach O, or
Not gonna happen.
Coach O would be so awesome, dude.
It would be awesome, but
Oh my
he'd use it either as a stepping stool or just another retirement
Use
thing, and it
this
would
as a
go.
stepping stool. Do it, please. Use this
And then
as a
you're
stepping
hiring
stool
again
for 3
2
years.
years later and
Eh,
looking for another
eh,
Coach O or
eh.
someone.
Oregon State, does it really
Yeah.
matter? Can we just be good for 1 year? Just one. I'm just asking
Jamarcus
for a
Shepard
year.
he's also been on winning teams. I'm looking at his history right now. He's been at Bama this year. He was at Washington before that when they made their national championship run from 22 to 23. He was at Purdue for a little bit. He was at Washington State for a year in 16 as one of the receivers coaches there. Western Kentucky for a couple years as the offensive quality control guy and receivers coach. Put up a ton of points. Actually, he was at Western Kentucky from 2011 to 2015, and then some high school coaching before that. So he's been around winning programs that have played really good football, really good offense, especially.
Yeah.
So this could be a great hire. Not
It's a
very
younger guy,
conventional.
right? It's a younger guy that's more in with the. I mean, I think he is a little younger anyway.
Yeah, he's 40. He's 42.
Okay, so I mean, he's not like super in with the times, maybe, but he's probably more more adaptable than a guy like Coach O or somebody like that. Even,
I mean, he's been recruiting at the SEC, old Pac-12, now Big Ten, and he was at Purdue for a couple years before then too, in the Big Ten for a little while. So
perfect.
I'd love to have him. Let's see how he does. He's going to give us as good of a shot as any, and he's a young guy looking to be a head coach. So he might just stick around for a while too.
Dirty Dan, thank you for the news. Appreciate that.
Thank
We got to
you,
move on.
you, Dirty Dan.
Thank
Great
you, Dirty
breaking
Dan.
news.
No, I'm Dirty Dan. That's what.
All right, so you got Bama to cover. I got Auburn to cover but lose. It's going to be must-see TV though, regardless. That is going to be one of the most toxic environments of the year.
Yep, typical Iron Bowl.
I can't wait. Cannot wait.
Next one, guys. The team I hate the most in the entire country, the Oregon. I want to say the word Ducks. At Washington, gonna be. I don't know. I don't really know what to think of this. I want to take Oregon for the spread and take it for the numbers. Just because I really don't think UW is that good. UW has been competitive. They were very competitive against Ohio State early on in the year. But I mean, ultimately, and they did play, they beat a ranked Illinois team at the time. They had a really, really close call with Maryland. I mean, I don't know, man. They beat up on the teams that they should, besides Maryland. They were very close and competitive with Ohio State. It was a 17-9 game for most of it, and they gave up a late touchdown. I don't know, man. I go back and forth because I don't think Oregon is what Oregon wants to be. They're not going to win a national championship. And I'll say that's all I die, whether
don't let Dan Lanning hear that.
Yeah, well, you know what, Dan, whatever. I know Eli's probably in his car right now listening to this, yelling, or he's commenting.
He just said go Duck with a little duck emoji.
Go Duck. Okay, so one duck, just one.
One duck. Which duck, Eli?
Yeah, which one? Which one would you like to go? So it's so hard for me not to talk negatively about the Oregon Ducks.
Yeah, it's in Seattle, right?
It's at Washington. It's in Seattle. So tough environment.
Yep.
Again, UW has taken care of business against teams that they should have taken care of
2 years ago. 2 years ago.
2 years ago. Mm-hmm. And I would say in the last 3 to 4 years, UW has kind of owned them a little, right? Just one. Eli says just one. So UW's kind of owned them a little bit, right? but I do think in terms of this year where Oregon wants to be, in terms of the actual what is the word for it? In terms of just I'm lost for words right now. What this game really means is what I'm trying to say. It
The
doesn't really
stakes for the
mean
game.
the stakes. Thank you. I'm trying to think of stakes. God. The stakes of this game, UW isn't really playing necessarily for much. Besides, it is a rivalry. It's one of the lamest rivalries because there's no freaking name for it or anything, and it wasn't even a. It was kind of a rivalry, but now that Oregon State's nothing and the Civil War is no longer, so the answer back on who's going to win the Civil War this week, Dirty Dan, not the Beavs, but I hope Washington. This is the only week of the entire season that I root for the Huskies. I would love to take Washington plus 6.5. If it was a little higher of a number, if it was 7.5, I would take Washington. Let's put it that way. At 6.5, I'm going to take Oregon.
Okay. So. I think this is a super trap game too. Just a weird line. Again, you said you compared Washington to USC, which cool. Why is the spread lower this week than it was for Oregon USC? Oregon USC was a 10-point spread. This is less than a touchdown. So maybe Vegas knows something, or maybe a bunch of people are about to get really rich. But I think I want to believe. I want to believe Seattle. There's some magic in Seattle, and Washington can get it done. I will take the Huskies just like I took Auburn, but I think Oregon gets the win and propels themselves into the playoff. They're still alive, too, for the Big Ten championship, too. I think they need some stuff to happen. They need either Michigan or Indiana to lose, or both. It's weird. I don't remember the exact tiebreaker, but they can still make the Big Ten championship. At this point, they should want to miss it. Yeah. And then just play Bama in the first round or Miami in the first round of the playoff. So
right. Yeah, I mean, Eli just mentioned, like, let's be honest, haven't played too great this year, but also the weather in 8 of our games has been so terrible, and our quarterback needs to take his gloves off. So I agree with the gloves thing. I don't know why guys wear gloves at all. I mean, come on, it's literally going to be – it makes it worse for you, in my opinion. You were a quarterback. I think you would understand. When it's pouring rain, gloves do nothing for you. As a receiver, gloves do nothing for you when it's pouring rain. That Iowa game was horrendous weather.
Oh, that was awesome to watch, though.
It was awesome TV. Horrendous weather for both teams. And I think that really could have changed that game a lot because I think Iowa is a good football team. They have a good defense. They do enough special teams wise to keep them in football games. They have enough offensive capability to be balanced in the run game and pass game to, put up a decent amount of points. Mm-hmm. And they battled that entire game with Oregon, with a team that on paper, recruits and all the numbers is way better than Iowa, and Iowa put up a fight. Partially, I think, is the weather. But, I mean, who knows? If that's a dry game, Iowa might have ran all over them. I don't know.
Or Oregon puts up 40.
Or Oregon puts up 40, and it's 40-20. I mean, I get it.
The fact of the matter is they found a way to win, and what's impressive about Oregon is they can win, like A&M's been doing this year too. They can win in different multiple. They
can win in all sorts of different fashions of the game. And I think that's always been the thing about Oregon, right, is they're flashy. They're just for speed. They don't have the size. They don't have the strength up front. And that has changed over time. Oregon has started to become more of a team that has that front and can do that, which I think they do have some of that this year. But they have struggled, man. I mean, they struggled with Wisconsin. And I'm sorry, I don't care what the weather's like. It never rains at Autzen Stadium. The dumbest saying of all time. Because you were in Oregon, you were in the place on earth that it rains the most. You played a team like Wisconsin who's terrible. They're a terrible football team.
Hey, they just beat Illinois, okay?
Wow. Illinois not ranked anymore.
Yeah.
So to me, you should put up 40-50 against Wisconsin, and they struggled really, really bad. Dante Moore, I've said it since he was at UCLA, he's not the guy. He'll make like 2 very, very good throws that you're like, wow, he has the caliber to be that guy. And then you watch the rest of the game and you're like, yeah, he's really not that good.
I want to see him play another good defense like Indiana. And I think we'll see if Washington can give that to him. But if not, we'll see a lot more clearly in the playoff. because the USC's defense, we don't have time to get into my rant on USC, but we'll say that for the offseason. Yeah, USC did not pose a threat on defense like
Which I think
Indiana did
we
by
kind of
any
already
means.
we all knew, like the fact that College Game
Yeah,
Day
but we
there
thought it would be competitive. We thought they'd put up a
from an
decent little
offensive
fight.
standpoint. From an offensive standpoint, we all thought it would be competitive, as maybe it would turn into a high scoring game because USC has the weapons to do so.
Yeah.
But it really turned into, okay, yeah, they can put up some points, but their defense is so tremendously bad.
So bad.
And it's been this way forever because Lincoln Riley literally can't coach a defensive-minded football team.
Or hire for
Or
like
hire.
Rob Ryan's their DC, which should be a great hire. Like I wouldn't mind having him on my team.
Yeah.
But holy cow, it's anywhere. He can coach 3 to 4 Heisman quarterbacks in his short head coaching career and not even sniff a championship game because he refuses to change anything on defense.
Yeah.
And he keeps saying, "We're close, man. We're close." Well, how much closer do you need to be? Like, what are you going to change next year that's going to make anyone believe that it's going to be successful?
He's
you can have the best quarterback in the country.
He's close to not giving up 35 points a week. They're almost to giving up only 28. They're really close. That's what he means.
Dude,
they're this close.
He's close to having USC activate his buyout so they can kick him out of town. That's what he's close to.
Oh, yeah. I
don't
know,
even
man.
like USC. I'm not an Oklahoma guy.
either.
I'm not a USC guy. But I almost feel bad for them, and I just can't stand the way he's coaching because his offense is so fun, yet they refuse to win games because they can't play defense.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's it for USC.
It's still going to be a good test, I think, for Oregon. If Oregon comes out of this game and Eli says Oregon by 21, if Oregon comes out of this game and they win by 21, hats off to them. I think that's whether it's
impressive,
a non-ranked team or not,
win.
It's an impressive win in a pretty tough environment against a team who's got some dudes. Their quarterback's a young guy. He is pretty solid. And I do like Jonah Coleman, the starting running back there. He's a bruiser. He's a guy that's always falling forward. He's getting yards. He produces. I think this will be a good old-fashioned Oregon UW slamming around. We'll see, man. I think we're in for maybe a treat with this one as far as having the firework type plays. Ravens hired Dan Lanning and his staff. Why are we talking about the Ravens? Come on, man. But I really do think that this is going to be a firework type game. You're going to see some huge plays in the passing game, some big shots, and then it's just going to be pretty run heavy. So I mean, expect some fireworks, man. I do think maybe Oregon does probably get it done. Okay, we got to move on from this one.
Yeah. Real quick, 2 seconds with Vandy, Tennessee by 10. The Pavia hype train runs out. It's been a hell of a year. Tennessee at home.
I do like that as well.
If they lose to Vandy as a favorite at home, I don't care how high Vandy's ranked, it's going to get loud. It's going to get real loud for Heupel this offseason.
Yeah, I do like Tennessee. I think they've handled business in some weeks that they should have early on against Georgia. That was a super crazy game.
One of the best games I've ever been to in my life, by the way.
Which I know is early in the year, but it's Georgia. It doesn't matter what time of the year you play them.
Yep.
You had a great game. It was super, super entertaining. And I think they have the pieces to be able to put Vandy to rest and kind of shut them out of this season. All right, we're coming up to the last two, guys. Thank you for sticking with us again. Please follow down below. Welcome to the Hurt Locker, Low Hurt 24 on X. Follow us on YouTube and X, Total Coverage Sports. Please give us follow, subscribe. Appreciate it. Truly helps us out. We're on the last two here for picks of the week. The game in the big house, number 1 Ohio State on the road at number 15 Michigan. This spread way too big, my friend. Not so fast, my friend. Give me the Wolverines plus 9.5. I'm not saying this just because I am somewhat a Michigan guy because of my father, but I am going to say it because did we just not see what they did to them last year with a quarterback who was totally incapable of throwing the football? They couldn't throw, like you said, a forward pass, literally, screen, swing pass only, and they beat Ohio State and handled them defensively as well. Michigan is known to always have a decent defense. This year, they've been very skeptical at times. They've had some really close games lately against kind of inferior opponents. And then they've had other games where like, okay, they look like the team they should. I think they've given up quite too many points for the type of teams they're playing, and they're doing just enough offensively to win because they have a decent run game. They have Bryce Underwood, a super young quarterback who in the future I think is going to be impressive. Right now, he's still got a lot to work on. The thing about him is he throws every single ball a million miles an hour and he has no touch. So if that guy can develop some touch and just
It's like if
learn
Joe
that,
Milton had more talent right
dude,
now.
exactly. Like it's a screen pass, my guy. You don't have to wind up and crow hop to throw a screen pass. Just get him the football. Um,
He's got a ton of talent, though.
Ton of
I
talent.
like you said, in the next couple of years, he's going to be awesome to watch.
The arm
And
talent and the key to this game is not going to be his arm talent. It's going to be they're going to have to use his legs more than they have the rest of the year. And I think having that RPO option, the bootleg, and all that sort of action with the good run game that Michigan's always had, it could be really dangerous for Ohio State if they're not careful. Ohio State, which I've said this before, and kind of like Oregon, they really haven't played anybody. If we're going to be completely honest,
yep,
they really haven't played anybody. They've put the
Texas
boots to
week
everybody,
one.
and they've done what they have should to every single team. And they didn't look great against Texas, but it was week one with a true freshman quarterback on the road.
Yep.
Who cares, right? They got the job done. They got a win, and a big win at that, but they didn't put up a lot of points. They've put up a significant amount of points. Julian Sains looked great the rest of the year. They've looked very consistent, but they've played absolutely freaking nobody. So huge wake-up call. I'm definitely going to be watching this. I always watch this, 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm up at like 6:30, ready to rock, looking for snow coming down in Ann Arbor. I got the Wolverines plus 9.5. Did we not just see what they did last year? Come on, guys. Get with the times. Get with the program. Come on.
What's really interesting too, what I'll be paying attention to is Julian Sain leading the country right now, right, in completion percentage. I think he's 80 or 81%, which is unheard. That's Joe Burrow type numbers that should never be touched again. Yet here we are. And granted, they haven't played that many good teams, good quality teams, and Michigan's going to be the best defense they play all year. Let's see how he can throw against Michigan. And also, you got two freshman quarterbacks starting. I don't know. It takes a lot of maturity to play in a rivalry game and play well. I don't know if these quarterbacks know how big of a game this is. Does that make sense? Like
It does.
juniors,
It
seniors, like
does.
they feel the magnitude of it, and like obviously it's a huge game for both teams and both
Yeah.
schools, especially from a Heisman standpoint for Sand. But I don't know if these quarterbacks fully grasp the meaning of the rivalry yet as freshmen, and I think that's going to make it really interesting. One for Michigan, feeling and playing loose, right? They've won 4 in a row, but for Sand too, maybe just treating it like another game. I don't know. We'll see, but I'm going to take Michigan to cover the 9.5 or 10 or whatever it is now until proven otherwise.
Yeah.
It's been Michigan. It's going to continue to be Michigan until then.
Yeah, and I mean it's crazy that they've won 4 in a row.
Unbelievable.
Which is unbelievable in an atmosphere in a game of this magnitude. It seems like every single year, for the most part, lately, this game has been for all the marbles. Like this game has that aspect of it of it is all or nothing. You know, winners going to the conference title, or winners getting in, or winners number one in the country. Like there's some sort of stake on this game that you just can't make up. And it's this year. Yeah, they're only number 15 in the country, but Michigan's got to win to get in.
Michigan! If Michigan wins this game, they'll jump somebody to make the playoff.
And
they will.
That's what I mean. So I do agree with the whole freshman. They don't really know how big and how important and how nasty this game really can be. The shit talking that comes on with this game is incredible. Just all of it coming together. The fans, the Muck Fishigan shirts and all the stuff that's going to go on, right? It just gets fun. So shout out my dad's really good friend, Andy Gibbs. Shout out Andy Gibbs. If you're listening to this, you might be. We go over to his house every year to go watch this game because he's a huge Ohio State fan, born and raised in Ohio. He's got Michigan toilet paper. So when you go to use his bathroom, if you got to take old number 2, you got to wipe it with old Michigan toilet paper. So it's pretty good, man. I mean, it's just one of those things where I wish the Oregon State Civil War was more like this still. I know it's probably never going to be again, but this is why I love this game so much. And again, like you were saying, it's going to be Michigan until then, man. I got to take Michigan to cover this game. I don't know if they win, but you know damn well this game's going to be close. And
snowing in Ann Arbor.
The only thing I can say,
just like when they started the streak.
The only thing I can say about the whole true freshman thing is Bryce Underwood has a little bit of taste of this because he grew up in Michigan. So he
Okay.
understands a little bit, at
Okay.
least, right, from an aspect of I grew up
Yeah.
there,
Oh yeah.
of
Yeah.
what this means. Saying I don't know, but we're gonna find out on Saturday.
We're gonna find out real quick, and I cannot wait. That's gonna start off our Saturday strong.
Yeah,
I
baby.
can't wait.
Get some breakfast, get some coffee, maybe a little mix something else in your coffee, and watch Michigan Ohio State in the game. Now, this is the one we've all been waiting for. Sorry we're going on an hour and 15 minutes, but I don't care. This has been great content. This might be the best show we've done all year. A lot of info, a lot of opinionated things going on. It's been fun. Last one, biggest one. We're doing it. Number 3, Texas A&M at number 16, Texas. This is an absolute statement game for the Ags. This could be the biggest game that the Aggies have had in a decade. I don't know. Maybe since they played Bama on the road when Johnny beat them. This feels that way. Like this feels like a type of game where, and that was different because it was number 1 team in the country. They're a huge underdog. A&M's not necessarily an underdog in this, right? They should be the favorite. They are the favorite at a -2.5, which give me the Ags -2.5 all day long. I think the Ags are coming in this one chip on the shoulder. They know what they're playing for. They've never been in this type of situation before. Now they're playing the boys for the second year, coming back to the rivalry, going at Texas. They got embarrassed a little bit last year by Texas. They're going to spin this thing around. I saw Marcel Reed today go, I don't like Texas, and none of my teammates do either. Well, guess what? I've never really liked Texas. And then I met Liam a long time ago when I was about 9 years old, and he taught me my entire life of this. This is all we know. And I'm not even a diehard fan, but I'm a diehard fan this week, and I'm going to be for the rest of the season. And I want to shout out Jordan Adams because he commented on this and texted me earlier on the show and said, shout me out. Aggies winning the Natty this year. Book it. Count it. We're counting it in right now. Horns down, baby. Give me the Ags -2.5. Marcel Reed's going crazy in this one. Arch Manning's going to have an absolute hell to pay with this D-line. This D-line's going to wreak havoc. Man, I'm this game on Friday. I am so stoked, man. I'm so stoked.
I've been battling battered Aggie syndrome for the last 27 years. And I swear I've beaten it probably 3 or 4 times this year already. I will declare it officially dead if A&M beats Texas this weekend. I don't care how it happens. I don't care if we cover. It doesn't matter. If we win this game, battered Aggie syndrome is officially dead. 12-0, eliminating Texas from the playoffs, finishing a perfect season, rolling into Atlanta for an SEC championship game. Throw out the record books. I cannot wait. I could not work this week. All I've been thinking about is this game. Not Thanksgiving, not even Saturday, the game, all those other stuff. Iron Bowl's going to be great. The only thing I can think about is beating the hell out of Texas Friday night at DKR.
Woo! Come on, throw it up. Even Will Neighbors, the father of Liam Neighbors, is putting in on this. He says, real happy to see Lil Hurt sporting Aggie swag. Come on, you already know. You've seen me sport it before, and I always will. I gave my Johnny jersey to Liam.
Yep,
So he's got that. I'll have my horns down shirt on Friday. Eli says Michigan by 10. I love that also. I love that. And then Will Neighbor says, beat the hell out of TU. You know it right now. I think we should cap this off with singing the freaking war hymn. I think that's how we should.
No, if we win. If we win, I will.
Next show.
I will.
Next show, if they win, we're doing it. We're doing it.
And if we lose, I'm not showing.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all.
I'll be here
that.
no matter what.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you even if you didn't want to. And this is a perfect time to shout out the guy who really got me going on this, man. Or at least revived me back from the dead of broadcasting, getting into it. Mr. Ghost himself, he's a huge Texas fan. So all kidding aside, jokes aside, like I really appreciate you. I know I'm throwing the horns down up and kind of clowning Texas a little bit, but it's all fun. And I know Liam knows him as well. And I'm just hoping for a kick-ass football game on Friday and for the entire weekend for all these games. I hope all of them are good. I hope they're all close in terms of betting, so everybody has to bite their nails off and sweat it out. Nothing better than to have to do that. So
not this game, though.
Yeah, you're hoping not to sweat this one out. You're just like, can we just win by 30 plus? Just get this thing over with. But Liam, hey, thank you, man, for being on the show today. Absolute blast per usual. Yeah, I know we ran overtime. I was like, let's not go over an hour, but I think the content
Totally
was
worth it.
solid.
Totally
Content was
worth it.
solid.
Yeah.
So
Thank you for having me on again. Everyone else, have a happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy the weekend of football.
yes, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Like I said earlier, go eat lots of turkey, mashed potatoes, the rolls. If you make mac and cheese, you're on my A list because mac and cheese belongs at Thanksgiving. Here in the Northwest, people don't really make mac and cheese on Thanksgiving. It's really weird. Anyway, thank you all for listening. Appreciate it. Please, again, welcome to the Hurt Locker. Follow at LowHurt24, Hurt Locker on X. You can also like and subscribe Total Coverage Sports on X and on YouTube. Really helps us out. Appreciate you guys listening today. Have a good Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Happy holidays. Let's watch some good football this weekend. That's all I got to say. Let's watch some good football. Gig 'em.
Gig 'em.